Well, still ahead tonight on Time Warner Cable 8 News at 10, the Creative Connections.
Easter is coming up, and after the break, we'll show you some all-natural ways to dye your eggs. All the details up next.
With Easter just a few weeks away, many are making plans to dye eggs for their holiday celebrations. In tonight's Creative Connections, Cable 8's Katie Cummings has some environmentally friendly methods to make your eggs colorful and bright.
Typically, people use food coloring-based dyes to dye their eggs for Easter, but an upcoming workshop at the Audubon will show you how to use plant-based sources.
The first thing you need are the ingredients, the raw ingredients. These are all common things that you're going to find in your kitchen. Everything from chili powder to red onion skins, yellow onion skins, turmeric, red cabbage, beets, blueberries. A wide variety of plants can be used to make natural Easter egg dyes, and that's where you start. With some of it, you just measure out a couple tablespoons of the spices, put them in boiling water, and boil for about 20 to 30 minutes. With the other ingredients, the red cabbage, you should coarsely chop it so that the dye has adequate space to get out. Frozen blueberries, just toss them in a pan. The beets, just chop them up again coarse and throw them in a pan. Then you do need to make sure that you fill this up so that there's enough room. If you're going to hard boil your eggs with your plant material, you need to make sure there's enough water in there for the plant material and your eggs.
Using a spoon, you can drop your eggs into the different dyes. The longer you keep the eggs in the dye, the darker the color will be.
This egg right here was dyed with the chili powder, which usually results in an orange color, but as you can see, it's a little bit more of a brown there. These 4 eggs right here were all dyed with the turmeric for different lengths of time. You can see how some are lighter and some are darker. This one was dyed with red wine. These 2 right here were actually a mix between the turmeric, which is the yellow, and the red cabbage, which is the blue, because of course yellow and blue make green. This purple over here was blueberries, and this really dark one in the end is red wine left in overnight. With this egg here, I got the stripes on that one by putting rubber bands around it. And you can use other things than rubber bands. You can use duct tape, you can use string, but anything that's going to stick tight to the egg is what's going to give you that variation and let you use either 2 different colors or the natural white of the egg. Even though there's a wide variety of egg colors out there, if you're going to use natural dyes to dye your eggs, it really makes sense to start with white. That way you're going to get the purest form of the color. You can't use aluminum. You can't use aluminum pans, and you can't use aluminum spoons. You shouldn't use aluminum because there's actually a reaction between the dye and the aluminum. So stick with glass, stick with stainless steel, and that's going to be the safest way to do the natural dyes. You can use pressed flowers. On this one, I just used a glue stick, and I put some pressed flowers on the egg, and then I cut strips of pink paper to make sort of a bird's nest at the bottom. Another added bonus to dyeing eggs naturally is that you can just compost all the food material.
The workshop is this coming Saturday at the Audubon for children 9 and over. Hatfield asked people bring at least 6 hard-boiled eggs, and the other materials will be provided. For more information, contact the Jamestown Audubon. With your Creative Connections, I'm Katie Cummings.